Good morning, and what a surprise. Thank you for having me. Bishop, who are you? Where did you come from? Well, I'm responsible for all social action for all Full Gospel Baptist churches in the state of New Jersey. I'm a retired corporate exec from PSE&G Urban Development. I was there for 38 years. I'm also a certified social worker in the state of New Jersey. I am the president of Newark, North Jersey Committee of Black Churchmen, Black Ministers Council, the oldest economic and council of African Americans in the state of New Jersey. We took on, New Jersey has the dubious honor, we took on the state police, and we are the home of racial profiling. In addition to that, I am with the state police as a chaplain, worked with the last 20 AGs, attorney generals, on behalf of minority recruiting. And I was part of Governor Murphy's legal and justice transition team. I was appointed twice by the New Jersey Supreme Court as part of the Legal Justice Committee. I turned down a third term because I decided I was going to take on the guy that I helped make governor and part of his transition team on legal and justice. They said I hijacked the transition team because there is no way in hell that I was going to allow him to sell marijuana to the folk that look like me under the name of social justice. Grace was there. He decided to show up at my church, and I need to say I had the dubious honor today, the day after Martin's assassination. Martin Luther King Jr. was in Newark 1 week before he died. I was 17 years old. I got to hear Martin speak. Martin impacted my life. And at Martin Luther King celebration, our big governor was there, and all the New York, New Jersey media was there, and I called him out in a packed house about his policy. I've been called a traitor. I've been called I'm one that went against social justice, but what he did was social injustice. The reality is this, that the people that look like me, there's people running around talking about reparations. My granddaddy is still waiting for his 40 acres and a mule. There are people running around talking about what he's going to invest in our community. First and foremost, Murphy only came, and I say Murphy now because I've spent time in his house. We were one-on-one, and now I can't get a phone call to get through to him. However, I will be calling him out publicly again. The reality is this, that as a certified social worker in the state of New Jersey, I get to see these young folks and old folks that are messed up. As a former retired executive, corporate exec, where will my people work? Where will they work? You will not work in corporate America. You cannot get a job in Lowe's or Home Depot because you must pass a drug test. I asked the governor, will you give him a job and a school system? Will you give him a job driving a New Jersey transit bus or a train? Can they become a toll taker? They will be finished as far as a career is concerned the day that they consume their first joint and it's in their system. You will never work for law enforcement. Where will they work? And if you can't work, you will never retire. You will, at least not really, you will have health problems. The New England Journal of Medicine just stated in their last article that doctors are concerned. They know what cigarettes are doing for your health. They believe that this new marijuana that's grown, and wasn't what I smoked. I went to college in the 60s, y'all. I don't deny it. But what I smoked in the 60s has nothing to do with what they're growing now. And what they're growing now, the New England Journal of Medicine has just said that you're going to have 3 times the problem with your heart, 3 times the problem with your lungs. And so I'm asking the question of what's going on. I've met with the Medical Association in New Jersey and the Medical Hospital Associations in New Jersey. And they have said to me, well, what we want in the legislation is that for the first 10 years, that if any of these healthcare problems develop, that the reality is that they want the government, the same people people that say they need the money to pay for stuff. They want them to be the healthcare provider of last resort. Newark sits about 25 minutes from a place called Parsippany. In Parsippany, the unemployment is about 4%. In Newark, for the residents, the unemployment is about 15%. Newark is predominantly African American and Hispanic. The reality is that they will take away the future for our children to have meaningful jobs. That's reality. The reality is that folk like me will be talking to them as long as I continue to renew and certify my license as a social worker. We'll be talking to them. Schizophrenia is real in my community. Bishop, why would you do this? Why would you take on the governor? Well, first of all, to insult me because, and Grace, you were there last week, the senator that doesn't look like me got up at a legislative hearing and talked about George Washington grew hemp. He talked about George Washington, the founding father, and I thank God I got to go behind him. And I said one thing about it, the people that look like me, George Washington had as slaves. The people that look like me had no voice, but I stand for them today and tell you, damn it, we're not smoking the marijuana, we're not doing it, we're not allowing it to come to our community, and George Washington owned me, but he doesn't own me now. And so I stand before you today saying that this just doesn't make any sense. I have no problem. I've already talked to, and we've been able to do this, and Grace, they've allowed me to do some things. They sort of don't write my script. They just let me go from what I know, and I've done a few TV shows now, and a week ago, I'm real proud to let you know that the Chief of Police Association for the state of New Jersey has come out against marijuana. I'm proud to let you know that we are looking at what's going on in our community. The reality is that we've looked at the geo-mapping in Colorado. Already in the state of New Jersey, they have already passed, including in the governor's municipality, that there will be no smoke shops in his municipality. So the governor himself can't go get a joint if he wants one. It will all be placed in communities of color. The other thing is that they're trying to sell this thing about social justice. I told them this is social injustice. The reality is, yes, we do need to do some things about incarceration in New Jersey. For African Americans, are 17% of the population of New Jersey, and they're 65% of the prison population. But again, being part of the Law and Justice Transition Team, we know that so many people that are in prison for a pound of pot, they also had about 10 crack vials. And since crack carries more time, each case would have to be looked at. The other piece of it is that they're looking for expungement. It costs $200 in the state of New Jersey to expunge anyone's record. So if you think you're going to get $300 million for pot, you're going to spend $200 for every prisoner you let out to expunge his record. There goes the $300 million. They made some promises. As a matter of fact, this governor has just zero-based those that are getting out of prison. He just zero-based the reentry budget. Just announced $100 million he's going to put out for rehabilitation of anyone on drugs, and yet and still it's not in the budget. And so once again, we're being sold a bill of goods. I'm tired of people telling me what's best for my community. I'm tired of people telling me what is all right for my community. And so to talk that this is social justice, Martin Luther King made a statement that makes a lot of sense to me. He said, you can legislate lynching, but it doesn't stop that from hanging me. And that's what this governor is trying to do. That's what these folks are trying to do. They're trying to legislate lynching, but they're still going to hang us with the economic injustice of it all. And so I've come by, I'm just about finished, and you know that's not easy for an African American preacher. I was told you don't speak for all the black ministers in the state of New Jersey? I said, no, I do not. But 86 congregations I do speak for. I speak for people that look like me. I speak for generations to come. I sit on the board of St. Michael's Hospital in Newark, and we see as many every weekend as 20 to 50 people come in losing their minds, schizophrenia, and everything else because they've smoked pot. Well, somebody said to me, Bishop, what happens if they pass that law? I said, well, I'll probably be dead and gone, but if you think the ghetto is a ghetto now, just wait and see what it looks like 10 years from now. Crime will be through the roof. In my neighborhood, there are drug dealers that rob other drug dealers for their product. The reality is it has to be paid for with cash. You can't pay for it with a bank card. And so if I'm a drug dealer, knowing that you have a pot place in the community, I just hope you have a good day, because me and my boys are coming in. We're not only going to get the pot, we're going to get the money, and we're going to kill a lot of innocent people. The reality is that no one is having a real conversation. I said to recently to the superintendent of the state police, and they said they couldn't give me an answer. Those of us that are in law enforcement, you must raise your hand, put your hand on the Bible, and swear to uphold the Constitution and the Constitution of the state that you serve in. And since they are not trying to do a constitutional amendment, and neither the federal or the state of New Jersey, can a law enforcement officer protect and serve at a marijuana growth house? That's a question that somebody needs to ask. Does it jeopardize his or her future in law enforcement? And so as I go to my seat, I leave you with this, because Martin said it's always the right time to do the right thing. Martin talked about social justice. But it cannot be always about money. There has to be something about morality. And this is a moral issue. This is an issue that is wrong, and if we allow it to go through. And lastly, let me say this. We're seeing that babies are being poisoned. If you and I have a drink, we only mess up our liver, our kidneys. We only mess that up. But if we're smoking joints around babies, then we're poisoning those babies' lungs. We're poisoning those babies' minds. And we're seeing a 70% increase in pediatric poisonings around the country in states that have it legal. The reality is, what about your babies? What about your children? And they got a group together. They got a group together, and they said, you know what? It's going to help you with your first trimester of your pregnancy. You won't be sick. Well, the people that they gave the marijuana to looks like me, and the young ladies that tried it, they don't know what the damage is going to be in years to come to their fetus, but they know this, that it will remain in the mother's breast milk. So just get a new pump, and that'll be a new product. Breast milk with marijuana. Keep your baby quiet, because your baby is high. So I charge you today, do what you can while you can. And do it for as many folks as you can, because only what you do for others is going to count with God in the end. God bless you.